the cinema sessions with me, Keith, and as always,
Seamus. Hi guys.
A Dubliners Go into Cinema. I almost forgot the title of the podcast, and it's only episode 4.
Here we are with episode 4, and for two straight white men, an obvious choice, I would say. 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yes.
As the special edition DVD of which can be seen on our table here. For the uninitiated, I have my usual little spiel here. So, 10 Things I Hate About You is a teen high school romantic comedy from 1999, directed by Gil Younger and written by Karen McCullough and Kirsten Smith, based on the Taming of the Shrew by the original gangster rapper William Shakespeare. The plot concerns a pair of sisters, Bianca, who really wants to date, and her rebellious sister Kat, who's really not into that whole thing. Unfortunately for the local boys, Bianca is not allowed to date until Kat does. To combat this, a group of boys conspire to get bad boy Patrick Verona to date Kat. Complications ensue when Patrick starts to really fall for her. The film has a 7.4 rating on IMDb with a Metacritic score of 70% and an audience rating of 7. While on Rotten Tomatoes, it has a critic score of 71% with an audience score of 69%, rather hilariously. The film was a modest box office success, taking in $53.7 million worldwide, and seems to enjoy a reputation as an all-time great romantic comedy. On a personal note, gentlemen, as Andrew Tate has taught us, taking even the slightest amount of pleasure from spending time with a woman is gay and should be avoided at all costs. Hope Kings. As I said earlier, this may seem like a slightly unusual choice for two dudes who can discuss films, but I can only speak for myself. I have a real soft spot for romantic comedies, and so I was very pleased when you suggested this one. But give us this is your suggestion, and give us your history with 10 Things I Hate About You, because I was 15 or so when this came out.
I would have been 7. So I would have seen it kind of. It probably would have been around the time that Heath Ledger's star was at its highest. So probably around the 2004 to 2007, in and around the kind of Dark Knight, that type of stuff. And this is just where I happened to see it, and I was really kind of liked some of the other stuff that he was doing, so I said I'll check it out. And as kind of for me, as kind of teen comedies go, and from that era, like your American Pies, all that type of stuff, this is probably my favourite of all of them. I think it's hilarious at times. I think it's sweet. I think it's heartfelt. I think there's some good performances in it for what it is. And I just really enjoyed the film. That's why I suggested it.
Fantastic. Well, I was very pleased that you suggested it. I saw it not in the cinema, but I saw it very soon. I think I would have seen it when we had. Just so everyone knows, part of the gimmick here is that I'm from the posh side of Dublin. So my dad paid for Sky, so we had, which is I don't know, the equivalent to cable, I think, in the USA or whatever. So I saw it a lot, and that's when I would have seen it. So maybe, a year and a half, 2 years after it would have come out or whatever. So this was my first introduction to Heath Ledger and Julia Stiles, both of whom we've a lot to say about. Now we'll get into my thoughts on the film, because I'd like to go through them as we go through the film, because they change as the film goes on. In response to my unsureness about its reputation, I did a quick little poll on my very untrafficked Instagram where I just asked, what people's thoughts about this film. So the story, as I posted it, which was a picture of the DVD, just asking what are people's thoughts on this? Is it a big childhood film? The post got 287 views, 14 likes, which I'm taking as people saying yes, I liked it. And then I got 10 messages on top of that, some of whom would have been people who also kind of clicked like on it. So some of the messages I got were, haha, it's just great. It's honestly a very quotable film. Love all the characters, how it works as a Shakespearean comedy of errors. One guy said, never watched it, but the scene where she reads the poem and cries is amazing. Fair enough. A friend of mine went on for ages, and he said there was some innuendo said he missed. Alan, you're frightfully innocent, I'm sorry. And This was interesting. This is a part of a larger thing, but I mean, Taming of the Shrew reimagined as a teen rom-com with Heath Ledger as a bad boy. Now, that part of the sentence makes a lot of sense to me. Was not iconic. Are you familiar with Taming of the Shrew? In any sense at all?
Yeah. No, I'm no Shakespearean fanboy or anything like that, but I would be aware of it and kind of its relation to the film and the differences in it as well. Do you know what I mean?
I wouldn't know about it if it weren't for
this film.
Yeah, I like none of the.
Oh, don't get me wrong. It's because of this film. I'm aware of Taming of the Shrew.
Yeah, like that comment makes me think. This person and this. Some of the people I quoted earlier are not. Just so people are from non-native, non-English speaking countries. Let's say that person is. So it makes me think. And I heard some comments from people like. Interviews I listened to, like they seem to have studied it in school. I did not. No. I did Merchant of Venice, which is a real fucking drag, and Hamlet, which I still really. I don't actually like in terms of like a Shakespeare person. I would say I admire it from afar. Maybe the way to say it.
I think the best way to probably describe myself and Shakespeare is from very afar. I mean. I have to be honest, and I might be showing the IQ level here, I don't know, but it just seems to me like if something is so kind of convoluted that you have to really, really try hard to try and understand just what they're saying.
Yeah.
Like you can't just say I'm going to the fridge for a bottle of milk, like, do you know what I mean? It has to be some
weird meta. Yeah, well I did actually, there's a podcast I used to listen to by a linguist, and he did say, I think you have to read it and interpret it before you can actually enjoy a real performance of it. Having said that, one or two of the things. Now, obviously, you'd always see it slightly simplified or at least edited. I've seen a few films and one performance in the park, kind of a thing, where I didn't know the play, and I was able to follow it like reasonably well. For anyone who is a non-native speaker of English who's listening to this, Shakespeare is written in very old-fashioned English.
Yes, very, very old English.
Very metaphorical. He uses a lot of words that are not popular anymore, and it's frightfully convoluted. And like everyone loves it to be or not to be, but the famous part of that speech is half of the speech, or probably less. I think they used to get. Look, I'm not. Who am I to not fucking William Shakespeare? But as a modern reader, you are like, okay, like there's 6 metaphors here.
Yeah.
And if it were a screenplay today, which maybe says more about how shitty screenplays are, you'd be like, isn't one kind of getting the message across here. But having said that, the stuff of it that I've seen and that I've liked is really great. Another scene one just randomly that was released to yours is called Titus, which is really very good. It uses the Shakespearean language. I have no reference of like, oh, they're taking something, and updating it. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, so I mean, it is important, like for the film, it's very Shakespeare centric. Because I mean, not only is it pulling from Taming of the Shrew and the different themes that are involved in it, but he's mentioned throughout, and he's also credited as a writer on IMDb as well, which is a bit strange.
And there's that character who's obsessed with him in it, and Patrick Verona and all this. Yeah, it doesn't seem. It was kind of a popular thing at the time. Like the 90s were the era of Kenneth Branagh. It really made Shakespeare kind of sexy and relevant again. And there were a few kind of there were prestige kind of Shakespeare films. Clueless a few years before had reimagined Jane Austen as a high school movie. That's a great film, Clueless. Now, here's where we get into it. I remembered liking the film.
Yeah.
But I had not seen it in many years.
Yeah.
And I'm aware of how beloved it is, so I will try and not mince my words out of respect for people, but I will try and justify everything I say. But I have to just say, the first 25 minutes of this, I would say the fucking cringe to liking ratio is not for me, not very favorable. It starts off with the fucking bare naked lady. If you were doing a cliche of a late 90s song.
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely, because even as the credits open, and it's the big wide shot. Yeah. It lands down on the girls in the car, and they're singing that song. Even the the credits, the way they're animated and the way they're designed, is so Saved by the Bell type.
Yeah, it's
it's a bit cheese, like for a film in '99 as well, because it seems that type of animation seems more early '90s, late '80s than.
There's a riff. I suppose, in fairness to the film, it is making a point of. You could kind of justify it by saying, well, they're setting it up as these are the typical high schoolers, the preppy girls in the car, and then it kind of pans over to Julia Stiles, and she's listening to what's the name? Joan Jett and Bad Reputation, which is a pretty pop.
But it also tells you, it kind of tells you everything you need to know about Julia Stiles.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. Like, it's solid. I did kind of go like, oh, that song really, Jesus, like, it's so of it. But that didn't necessarily bother me. I will say now, comedies are very difficult, and the amount of like comedy shows, if you go back and look at like even their first season or their first episode, they often push things too far. Like, there's stuff in this film that I'm like, look, I remember it's a quote actually by the fellow we talked about yesterday. I'm pretty sure it was Tony Gilroy, and he said, he was a famous screenwriter. He said, you'd be amazed how many people just forget how human beings behave when they start writing a script. And there's stuff like that in the film that I'm like, oh my fucking god, like, it's like, we may as well get into it, because a comment I saw on a YouTube channel made me go, okay, some people just see a different film to me. Like the guidance counselor, that I'm sorry, to me, nearly every adult character in the film is fucking weapons grade cringe. It's sticky, unfunny kind of shtick, and it's just.
You talk about Alison Janney.
Someone I kind of, when she showed up, I was like, oh, and then she started doing the whole fucking
the novel.
And I saw a YouTube comment saying that's you didn't, like, it was a YouTube review of it, and someone's comment was, you didn't mention the guidance counselor writing erotic fiction, one of the most iconic things about this film. I was like, whoa.
Iconic is a word that's thrown around a lot. I'll even agree with that.
Yeah.
But I do find it.
That works for you, doesn't it? Like that?
Yeah, I think, because it's funny. Because I think it leads to one specific joke, which we'll get to, which is quite funny, when Julia Stiles gets into the office. But that's a bit funny. That's a bit down the road.
I was getting a sinking feeling, honestly, like when she was introduced, and it's all like, like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who's like 2 years old, comes in, and she's like, oh, these students have shit for brains.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it was just too much for me. Some of this could be down to, I think, honestly, I just think it's in the script, and then the director was not the kind of person to tone it down.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That a lot of that stuff, like, it's very, very ropey for me. I'll get to the point where the film takes a very big turn in the opposite direction for me.
Because, I mean, obviously, in the opening sequences, like, so you're introduced to Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, Cameron, and he's given the kind of rundown of the school from Alison Janney's character. And then obviously he's introduced then to David Krumholtz, whose name eludes me in the film. But
I remember going through it and taking notes and like never remembering at any point what his name is.
I know the actor's name.
Reference him, that's now. I was watching some of the behind the scenes, and the actors were all like quite serious, especially Joseph Gordon-Levitt was very kind of like, he was grand, but he seemed like, at the time, he seemed like kind of serious. Yeah, it wasn't like your normal everyday schoolroom. The first 5 minutes, there's a fucking scene where someone goes, right, now let me tell you about all the various cliques in our school. Which is the biggest fucking cliche of these things. And sorry, what's your take on that?
So, like, I mean, I know, because they do hammer it up, and I do think there's probably, like, the Rastas,
I really had it, like, I understand why they put scenes of that in the film, because there's something satisfying about them, but this film, I was like, the coffee drink and the cowboys, and they did an interview with the writers where apparently she went to school in Denver, Colorado, which is more rural, so there were cowboys. I was like, why the fuck would there be cowboys? This is an urban setting, and the coffee drink, and then the whatever, what are they, finance people or something? They're wearing like,
that was always the way in kind of late 90s teen comedies. It was like the people who were going to have futures were not cool. You know what I mean?
I get that. Was like, I was getting a real sinking feeling. Because I didn't think it was. I was like, okay.
It doesn't, in terms of as comedic, I don't think I agree with you. I don't think it works like.
Yeah, and it doesn't. I don't know, whatever way, where they filmed it, maybe. The school, I should maybe mention, is they filmed the whole film in like a certain town because of that school. And the school building is great. Like, it really does fit with the Shakespearean kind of thing.
Yeah. But like, so obviously, once we're introduced to the kind of cliques and everything in the school, Dave Crumholt's character is kind of telling Cameron about things and everything, and that's where we meet Bianca.
Yeah. Now, I said earlier off mic, which is something I was trying to avoid saying when we were doing this podcast. Yeah, Larissa Oleynik is her name. She was on that show, The Secret World of Alex Mack, and I am younger than her, and I was in my teenage years at the time. So Candace Owens and her husband, who hangs out with Andrew Tate, can fuck off. I was like obsessed with her. I thought she was the most gorgeous creature I'd ever seen. So that was another reason I was very drawn to this film. Yeah, fucking hell, like it's a long and convoluted story, but I just thought she was. I thought she was the cat's pajamas, big time. Yeah. So, like, just because she was, like, as I say, about the same age as me, so it was like there was that more of a kind of a connection to it, I suppose.
Yeah, that's how we feel.
Really?
Yeah. I've been way worse than Hannah Montana, man.
Well, I missed out on that one.
You're a little bit older.
Maybe Candace Owens will have a point.
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, there is all that. Like, I just thought, like, my friends from the time will tell you, I used to talk about it all. If you've seen that show, fuck me, she's gorgeous. She was gorgeous. Still very good looking, I'm sure. If you're out there, Larissa, I still think you're the bee's knees. But I get not to knock her work or anything, because maybe she's watching. Her character in this is supposed to be. I don't think they ever really establish what she's really supposed to be like.
Yeah, because we get a version of her from David Krumholtz.
Yeah,
and it's not very nice.
He's putting her around, and you hear her kind of say stuff, but it's not non-committal. Like, she says something like, "Love and I like."
I love my Prada bag and I
love my something or other. And I'm like, all right, like, you don't ever see her be mean to anyone. Which is maybe like kind of a good. She's mean to her sister now a bit.
Yeah.
But they kind of seem to be pushing this, and I'm like, it
doesn't really work. Yeah, no, I agree with you. Yeah, because I mean, if the scathing remarks of David Krumholtz against her about being conceited and
if it were like real life, I'd be like, I'll give you the knockback, did she? Yeah. You can usually tell with a fellow when he's a
exactly. Scorn.
But yeah, she's. In terms of, like, for me, certainly, as the girl that all the bad guys want, as Bowling for Simple put it, she's very credible, and I can see, like, she works for, like, the girl that all the guys want. In terms of her being someone, like, who has a big arc, who goes from being conceited, I think is the word they throw around. I'm like, I don't see it.
No.
I just don't see it. It's not her fault they didn't put it.
What's actually more accurate is the description that Krumholtz gives about the Bianchi character is more accurate for our friend who's in the scene as well. Gabrielle Union.
All over the advertising, and he's in like 3 scenes. And
it's because let's just speak about the elephant in the room. It's what every film of this era had. It's the token black person.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Like,
yeah, she did have scenes, I think, deleted. But she apparently was like 10 years older than everyone else. She's like 27.
Okay.
Which I was like, we'll talk about it as well. I think there were just bits that were deleted because Kat's friend, the girl obsessed with Shakespeare, you wouldn't even know she's in the fucking film until David Crumholtz starts talking to her later, because they cut a lot of her stuff out because apparently there was a kind of darker element to the script or whatever. So it kind of like the main characters are generally likable, but I thought with Bianca especially it didn't kind of hold water. The other issue I would say I have with the setup is they go way OTT. Like what we see Kat and Heath Ledger's characters being like, and then how people talk about them. Like, I'm like, this now, granted, just sound very dark, but this was pre-Columbine, but they're talking about them like, oh, these are dangerous kids. Schools in America get shot up on. And like, again, some of the jokes, I heard he ate an entire duck once. I heard he sold his liver. And I'm like, have you guys ever have you ever met like real people? Like, what kind of fucking bullshit is this? Yeah, the setup for the movie, which is the mechanical kind of like the craft part of it. Movies are an art, but they are a craft. Some of the craft stuff in it, I find they were pushing too hard. I mean, they kind of lost track of what starts to really work in the film later on. So again, yeah, Kat, I'm just like, she doesn't even dress
that out there.
Yeah, she doesn't. Yeah, she's not dressed like in a goth fucking dress with like big army boots or something. Like, Heath Ledger he just looks like a nice guy, like, you know.
Yeah, he looks all right. He looks really quiet, but
yeah, like if they had gone that route, maybe you wouldn't have connected with them as much. But they, you know, I'm just reminded of like this is supposed to be the bad boy and girl.
Yeah.
Like people.
But see, the thing is, at the end of the day, it's misunderstood. Do you know what I mean? That's like, do you know what I mean? I do understand what you're saying, but that's the point. They're not these people. That's what people perceive them as. But
I suppose, like, it just seemed to me, outsized, like the way everyone was talking about. I'm like, seem like that fucking like to be there's a guy who seems to be Heath Ledger's friend who seems to have like completely receded hairline, but they shaved his head and gave him little different things. I was like, that guy I could kind of see being someone people like, oh, stay away from that guy. But it seemed a little forced to me. Like, honestly, the first like 20 minutes or so.
So obviously, after we're introduced to Bianca's character, somehow David Krumholtz knows that she's not allowed to date.
Yes, everyone knows.
Everybody knows, yes. Well, and to be fair, like, I mean, although that does seem a bit strange, it is played like, oh, it's something everybody knows. So it's not like it's strange that this person knows.
Yeah, I could see like they cast Larissa in it quite well. Like you can buy that everyone would have been looking into this, like like today. Yeah. So it's very. I heard an interview actually with the writers where it was revealed that initially it was just established that Kat had to date before Bianca could date. And I think it was a very good move to have that as a scene where it's established. Even though I have massive issues with every scene with their father in it, which I know is a very popular character. I think soon here, after this here, we have a first introduction proper to Kat in the English class.
Yes.
There's another scene which I
very much like she's what you people might call a Karen.
She's been a social justice warrior. Ben Shapiro, who will get a name check in every fucking episode. All over this one.
100%,
But there's still something. I think it might be Julia Stiles herself. It doesn't come off as like insufferable. Like I felt myself.
No, I disagree. Because I've been in classes before. I'm reminded of someone I went to college with, not the degree, but the previous, and my God, was she insufferable. Okay. And like to hear her talk about, for instance, romantic comedies, and we were explaining to her how the man doesn't. When the man changes, it's to satisfy the female audience. It's nothing to do with anything, and she couldn't comprehend it. You know, but the man wants to change and all this, and that's just the type of person that reminds me of Julia Stiles' character.
Yeah, she's meant to be that, alright. Maybe it might just be me. It might just be like I just naturally kind of.
I'm trying to remember her name. I won't name check.
I was impressed with how it just came off as like that's just how she is, and the film doesn't judge him for it. And I will say the sorry, no worries. I have to say,
the president.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't believe it. She like the film. The film has kind of this reputation now of being like kind of an early feminist kind of a work, which I think what I like about it is, and why it is successful is it isn't political. She is just a person that the film doesn't judge. There is a film which I was meaning to sit down and watch because I haven't seen it since it came out. The one would drive me crazy, the one with Sabrina the Teenage Witch and the Britney Spears song in it.
Crossroads?
No, it's not the Britney Spears song. She's not in the film as far as I know. And that does have, it's kind of flipped. Like the guy in that is the guy from fucking Entourage, I think. And he is into social justice kind of stuff, yeah. And she's like the popular girl. And as far as I remember, the film is kind of judgy about him. If I remember right, it starts off with they're going to do some, kind of protest thing. And like one of his friends kind of goes, oh, so we're going to do the whole protest thing again, are we? Like, that's what we do. And even then, like, they're planting the seeds of this is insufferable bullshit, innit? And as far as I remember, the end of that film is he kind of goes, maybe animal testing is okay, because my mom needs medicine. Like, the film is very against that kind of mentality. This film isn't, but not in a in-your-face kind of way.
Yeah.
She just never annoyed me. It might just be like
it might just be very similar.
I might just like Julie Stiles. I just found it. I was always like, well, that's just who she is, and the film didn't seem to be saying one way or another. I found the teacher, and that seemed really fucking awful. And all talk, but I just could have done without it. Like, it was all just a bit forced.
I know what you mean. I do understand what you're saying with the force and all that. Like, but like, for instance, like, we come back to the rastas that are introduced at the start because the teacher.
That was the joke you liked.
So the teacher obviously says about why can't they stop talking to me about women? Why can't they buy books by black people?
Yeah.
And the rastas, man, and then he goes, don't even get me started on used to.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that was very funny.
No, my cup of tea. Sorry. I will.
And then actually, one thing that should be pointed out in this scene as well, as a proper kind of hard introduction to Patrick Verona, Heath Ledger's character is very good.
Yeah, he just walks in.
He walks in and goes, what did I miss? And then he's explaining to him a snotty comment by Julia Stiles, and he just goes, great, and walks back out.
No, I can't knock him or Stiles. Like, I think they're fantastic. It is maybe worth talking about, like, because, a big thing that we might talk about is, what is the man today? How would they do it today? Would they, in the film, it is kind of played as like shtick, like she's this girl power, it's not the film. As I say, I like this mentality of it, but like, what would be different? Would it just be our interpretation of? Could you basically get AI to repeat this thing today, except it's modern?
But the thing is, Julie, if you were to do it today with the same characters, right? Maybe not the same personalities, right? But the same characters. The thing is, she wouldn't be a feminist. She'd be a conservative. So
she wouldn't fit in. Well, well, you mean in terms of like if she wanted to be the outsider?
Yeah. What would she be talking about? She'd be talking about Judeo-Christian values.
They never make that.
Oh, exactly.
But like, would they? Because I'm trying to think. Like, you don't come away from the scene going, yeah, the teacher has a point. You know what I mean? I wonder today, would the writers, I'd love to be fair, I'm sure they've good hearts and all this, would the kind of your typical liberal writer kind of go, oh, I don't want anyone to get the impression that, like, I'm in any way making fun of this guy or the directors. Whereas in that film, it's just kind of treated as like, yeah, this isn't really the most appropriate venue for this. I think that is a fair thing to say about the tone of the film. Yeah. And I don't know if you even get away with that today. Be like, who are we to say where is it? It was the perfect place for it. Whereas the film takes the point of view of someone in the class kind of going, oh, Jesus, like, what's this? I just want to get through the day, which is a mentality they maybe wouldn't go for today. I don't know. I don't watch enough modern. I certainly don't watch any teen rom-coms anymore. Not that they fucking make them, actually, which is something to talk about. But yeah, I was kind of impressed. For me personally, which is another overused phrase on podcast, I never found her annoying, even though you're supposed to kind of find her annoying, I think. So coming after it, I think this is the scene where the fucking motorbike gag where he goes down the fucking hill, and I was just like,
that thing, I remember,
and I was like, oh Jesus, because it's for no reason. Apparently that was the director. He was like, this would be funny. The hill is here.
No, I don't think it's funny. I genuinely.
It's very, and it doesn't even have a good payoff, like, because he just kind of goes, he just kind of keels over on it. Maybe if he crashed into something. Very lame. I was getting a sinking feeling now about the first part.
Obviously,
first part of the film.
After the introductions and everything, so the decision is made then to tutor Bianca in French.
He kind of says, I'll learn French again, which is not again my favourite bit of the film. Yeah. But I was like, okay, well, it's not as kind of trying to ram a joke down your throat as the rest of it. So he said, leave that off screen how he actually sets it up. But he says, okay, I'll tutor her in French.
And then that's how I'll get to know her, and that's how it'll make me know.
Yeah, I think we're coming up on the introduction to the father character. How do you feel about him?
I mean, I think he's okay. I mean, it's Larry Miller. He's a character actor who you've seen and play the same character in just about everything.
Yeah, he often seems to play someone, I remember him from, I think, 90 sitcoms where he plays kind of a vaguely sinister character.
Yeah.
like in a comedic way.
Yeah. And it's also, like, I mean, if you look, you can imagine his character here going to work and he's the fella from the Nutty Professor. Do you know what I mean?
Like, that's right, he was the fucking guy
he's the dean of
raped by a huge hamster.
But that's what you can imagine that, because it's very similar. I think he's fine.
Yeah, it was a bit sticky for me, and I actually looked up sticky, and it kind of means like, because I was like, I want to call this shtick, like him and what David Krumholtz, is that his name? I find it very sticky, which is like doing a bit, like it didn't seem like a real human being. I liked the theory of it. I actually kind of like the motivation of it, that he's whatever, an obstetrician. And like I see this all the time.
Yeah, that's actually a very funny line. What's the crackhead's baby?
Oh yeah, like why did I let that crackhead knock me up? He just.
I should have listened to my father. That's what she told me.
There's a bit like when she says it, and I thought it would have been like it's a bit subtler if he'd have gone, but he kind of goes. Oh god! Like the director is a sitcom guy, so he wasn't, and he directed like a Martin Lawrence film after this. He was not going to tell them, maybe tone it down a bit, guys.
Yeah.
And I did get the feeling listening to the writers that they felt he let it go with his OTT sometimes, and that is moments for me where I'm like, maybe
tone it in, yeah.
But that's the thing as well. Like, it doesn't really make a big thing of it, but Julia Stiles wants to get out of the house and she wants to go to Sarah Lawrence, which is
on the opposite. So, because as far as I'm aware, this film takes place in Seattle. I don't think it's overtly mentioned.
It's on the West Coast, and then
she wants to go on the East Coast.
I don't know. They do kind of establish it enough that you get the idea it's quite far away, and he's very like, no, I don't think so, young lady. And yes, again, it's just a little tricky for my taste. So he, I think the next thing is he's Cameron is tutoring Larissa Olenek, and I suppose you could make a case that she's kind of leading him on in this scene.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
But the way they play it, I think maybe she's a little too sweet, maybe for what they wanted. I think again, I will not knock Larissa Olenek. But I never saw the wheels turning of like manipulation for the guy or anything like that.
The manipulation actually comes from him. I
know it's kind of a cliche about these rom-coms, but like the guys do things borderline unforgivable, in the real world,
Oh, Jesus, yeah. Like, I mean, when you actually, what the setup, which we're going to get to now, is when they decided to manipulate the situation by actually what happens is they approach the Joey character, Andrew Keegan. Yeah. Who's the pretty boy kind of.
Who has money.
He's a model and he does socks ads. And
again, just, I wouldn't have picked this, but I did. The writers talk about that being like not a subversion, but it did. Like, he's not the jock; he's a different kind of a guy, and I thought that was a good angle, like the conceited model type.
He's not the football.
It pays off a lot in the party scene. That choice, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So we get
So David Krumholtz approaches Joey and basically says, "What you need to do is you need to hire someone to date Kat."
Yeah.
And then obviously, as they're going, who's going to do that? Who's man enough to do that? And then obviously it lands on.
The scene where he draws a dick in his face.
That's real, yeah.
That was it was so like, it took so long, and I was like, I wasn't surprised.
And then but I do think it is quite funny when he draws a dick in his face and he just sits, and then they go, "What the fuck are you doing?" I think the movie was growing on me by that stage. Yeah. But that was still like something I was like, okay, trying to do it. Yeah. I do, and this next scene, I just said something nice about the director, but whatever way they fucking did the next scene where they're like, here are the potentials to date Kat. And the guy walks over and all of the guys are there and he goes, who'd like to date Kat? And then the scene cuts to them, like, apparently being interviewed one by one, and I'm like, but sure, they all know what he just fucking off. Yeah. I just found the stage is very weird. Yeah. They all it ends up. Oh, yeah, no, you're right.
Because I'm wondering, like, did
it happens like in a laneway or something?
Yeah, like at the back end of the school or something. Yeah. I'm like, did they shoot it two different ways where, like, they all react together, and then they're like, well, let's do another version where they react one by one, and they're like, oh, they're both so good, and I'm like, and again, just some of the reactions, like the guy just screaming, and the guy who's like, oh, if there were no sheep, are there sheep? All right, very good. Sorry, everyone who's watching this, like fucking like getting riled up at me. I will start to say nice things about it. Just the setup part of it to me.
Yeah, it is. I do understand it. I do hear what you're saying.
Where it's a bit ropey.
It can be a bit forced and a bit ropey. And I hadn't actually noticed that the two different versions of them receiving the news.
It just seemed odd to me. Yeah, because I was like, why? Like, because you see all of them, and I don't know. It just maybe there's something else meant to be happening there, but I just kind of didn't pick up on. So the guy approaches. What's his name? The character named Joey, is it?
Joey, yeah.
He approaches Heath Ledger, and he, entices him with money.
$20, I believe it is.
Yeah,
and then
it's amazing how little money he is. He's a bitch.
Yeah. He sells for 30, is it?
Yeah, or like maybe 50.
Yeah,
but it's surprisingly low. I thought as well maybe it's to the credit of the film. I would have thought they'd set up that Ledger needs money a bit more, because that would have taken some of the edge off it. It actually doesn't affect his likability, but I'm kind of surprised they didn't make more of a thing of it, you know. Maybe he just needs it for all the booze and alcohol, all the booze and cigarettes.
Because we do very shortly after this, once he accepts the money, we do see him, and he is a high schooler and he's out in bars. Like.
Yeah, it's maybe it's this thing speaks to the American point of view on what a bad boy is. Maybe
because I mean,
who knows?
I was certainly in pubs when I was in secondary school. I wouldn't consider myself a bad boy. But
I'll get to that. I do find that scene weird. So this is where the film starts to have him and Julia Stiles talk to one another, which is not coincidentally where I start to sit up on my seat and go,
we're on to something here.
Yeah, the first scene with them is fairly functional, like it's okay. He just kind of passes it away. And again, I just kind of liked how they didn't make much of it, that initial meeting. Like, she just says, I'm a bit sweaty, and she just isn't interested in him. And I actually took a note here. They do have a scene. There's that scene button at the end of where the coach is knocked out by the golf ball, and I was like, "Oh God in heaven!"
Bogey Lowen scene.
Yeah, Bogey Lowen scene. I did kind of think the look on his face.
It's very funny.
It was funny.
Yeah.
I give it for that. It's a little broad for my taste.
Yeah, and the fact that he just stays in City, and he's frozen.
That guy was well cast.
He's a stand-up comic, I believe. He doesn't have a lot of credits or anything.
Yeah, I've seen him in something else. He's a very memorable face.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
That's fucking sure. I've probably seen him in sitcoms or something. There's a scene that follows where apparently this was a note from the studio. So the reason, the dad, Kat and Bianca, their mother just left. Which I have found an interesting element, actually, because that's kind of unusual. It's usually like
the father lives. Yeah.
And apparently it was thrown in because the two writers who were obviously both women felt, we have to explain why the woman is obsessed and why she is the way she is. I got to be fair to them, they did say ultimately they think it kind of works, and I think so too. I kind of like that element. Like it just makes it clear that Kat is hurting, as opposed to like actually. Not that they set her up as she's like actually that bad or anything. I just kind of found that was helpful for understanding her. And then she has a thing where like, oh, you're wearing mom's pearls or whatever. And I actually did mark this down when else. 25 minutes. Is the first scene that I remember laughing out loud because Heath Ledger sees her outside a shop. She was in buying her feminist CDs or whatever. And he approaches her at her car and she's blowing him back. And I remember I laughed out loud when he said, I bet you've thought of me naked though. And this is where the film is off to the fucking races. As soon as he said that, and he and Julia Stiles are such good actors, this is where the film starts working for me. And I think now people who may be listening are maybe used to my slightly strange takes on these things. I was thinking a lot about the Martin Scorsese quote about Marvel films when I was watching this, because I can't remember the whole thing, but you called them theme park rides, but he says, it's not the cinema about human beings interacting with each other. I was thinking about that a lot. The first 25 minutes don't work for me because it's kind of forced and it's like the logistics of the plot and all this. Where the film works is where I believe that that's something a charming guy like Heath Ledger, who I like, would say to someone like her. And she doesn't, like, she's still kind of knocking him back, but I was like, I bet she liked him.
Just chinking the armor now, like.
Yeah, and it's what I mean of, like, that's why, and I think even the Marvel movies, I think a lot of that stuff, I don't personally feel the same way, but when you hear people talk about them in the scenes that they like, it is those scenes of, like, two human beings having a recognizable interaction with each other and that being interesting. This is where the film really works, and where some subplots for me still don't work really to the rest of it. But those two just seem like
it seems very, but like, you use the right word, believable. Because at the end of the day, take out all the game that they're playing, manipulation and everything, take everything out, strip it away. And it's the goal of the film is to see these two together. And that's where a lot of it's hard. And it's like a lot of the scenes are quite sweet as well.
This is why I was surprised that a lot of the stuff I don't like in the film was actually written by the same writers, because I kept expecting in the interviews and stuff to hear.
I was reading the
motorbike thing was the director, and they don't like the way some of it's staged, but they wrote that stuff of, like, there's the cowboy, there's that, and I was like, these seem like two different. Because especially, we'll get to it, but the party scene in particular, once we get over some of the shite with it, I was like, yeah, okay, now we're really cooking. So this was the first scene, and I laughed out loud when he said it, because he was so charming when he said it. Like, just that perfect measure of, like, the right amount of confidence, but self-effacing at the same time. Like, I was like, you know, you just like the guy. You're just like, and I kind of can see now why because as a man, you know, I couldn't have said to him, do you know, it was really charming. I couldn't have spoken about that to anyone, so I think I was kind of like felt, I know about this guy before everyone else, because I was so charmed by him. Like, he's, again, some of it's, I'll give credit to the writers, but like him and Julia Stiles, like, I mean, it wouldn't be as good if it weren't them, you know? Just so, like,
I mean, at the end of the day, you can, like, it's very difficult if there's stuff that's not working. Okay, it can be very difficult, but liking a character or a character's performance can make up for a lot of stuff that can go wrong potentially.
Absolutely, yeah, can carry the
even if it's a dodgy technical shot, you can, if there's something engaging about a character's performance in it, you can forgive it. Like,
no, absolutely, yeah, and he's got it in space.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because I mean, I'm reminded of a story that I heard. Now I don't know how true this is, because obviously this is said after posthumously. But it's about how they were 2 days away from shooting, and they hadn't cast Patrick Verona yet. And apparently, I believe it's the director, but had seen 250 people. And the last one, he's doing it as a favour for an agent friend of his, and it happens to be Heath Ledger.
Yeah, that shows us some stuff I've heard,
Yeah, so he comes in and he could tell, as in just the charisma of the actor. And he also said that, like he says, if you don't get this, you are going to have a massive career. Now, that's the part where it doesn't join for me, because I'm like, did you really say that? Do you know what I mean? And I think maybe the numbers are probably inflated as well.
Yeah, I did hear, like, apparently he's like, I've never wanted to fuck another man before.
Yeah, exactly. He's sitting in a room with 5 casting ladies and him, and he's saying this to the women. Like, that's something that wouldn't happen.
I will say, now obviously anyone who made it this far obviously got the joke, but like the Andrew Tate thing earlier was a joke. But I was talking to a girl about this film, and I was like, what did you think? And she was like, and I just watched it, and I was like, well, what do you, come on, Heath Ledger. You know, he's not my type. And I was like, what do you want? Yeah. He's literally as sexy as any man has ever been in the history of the fucking world. Like, not really for me.
No, man. It reminds me of a meme that I saw where it's women don't ask for much. We just want a little muscle, a little fat, and to be tall. And then she posts a picture of Superman.
Yeah, like Henry Cavill.
And like, Jesus Christ, like.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, I don't. Just boggles, because I look, as a straight man, I look at him and I'm like, come on, like, if he said that to anyone, like, surely they just melt, but no, apparently not. So she prefers Chris Hemsworth, so
fair play for it.
Maybe he landed her lap, who knows. I did find again weird at the end. I thought it was a bit OTT the way Kat smashes into the arsehole guy's car. Like, it just seemed like that seems a little outsized, that reaction.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, like, that's prison. That's
pretty serious. Yeah. The next thing her dad's giving her awful shite about it. So Yeah, I think then after that we get to the plot kind of thickens, and I think the arsehole guy gives Ledger more money for her, so he's really...
No, because Ledger, this is where we see him, well, it's X amount for this, it's X amount for that.
Yeah.
And I think he bumps it up to 50.
Well, as well, like, she's giving him a hard time over it, like, she's really fucking hard on it, but at the same time, I found it believable that he kept going back. Like, he wasn't so shutting the door, like, for whatever way it was played, or it was you kind of go, I can kind of see why you think he could go back. Now, maybe I'm saying as a man who should take more hints, but I did kind of notice that it's not impossible that he'd think he'd have a chance if he went back, So, yeah, Cameron and David Cromwell's character name we don't know.
Yeah, it's like I've seen this film 10 times and I don't know his name.
They offered to help Heath Ledger, and so Cameron does a bit of a retinoider, I think, with Larissa Olenek to check out like what she's into and all this. And so just for anyone watching who's a bit younger than us, maybe I'd be curious, did you get the reference when they're talking about Kat and they go, oh, do you think she's a Katie Lang fan? No, she's into the fellas. Katie Lang was like the only openly gay female singer in the not that this is a regular never anthem, but she was like a famous lesbian singer at the time. So that was the question. And then they make it clear because she says, no, I found a picture of Jared Leto, who's still motherfucking performing to this day.
He's still performing to this day and probably looks the exact same.
He's like a vampire. Was he cancelled or something? Anyway, so that was establishing. Even I kind of got to say, like, people think, we only talk about these things now. At the time, they obviously felt like we need to address this. Like, could she just be a lesbian? And, no, she's not. And then they find really not that sexy black panties.
Yeah, this is like a G-string pennies or something.
Anytime you see a pair, it's nice. But I am just saying, like,
it looks like she goes the way she's playing it. Bianca is nobody buys black lingerie.
Yeah, as if
it's like a G-string for pennies. Like it's not really like. It's not Ann Summers, like.
Yeah, it did not suggest to me that she's DTF for that.
It almost looks like laundry day. Like,
it's laundry day.
Yeah.
But that kind of just establishes that this is where, like it doesn't ever make a huge deal out of it, but like obviously what Ledger is doing is very dishonest.
Yeah.
So he uses a lot of this information against her.
To manipulate her.
Yeah. Although we'll talk about, again, I think the film treads a very fine line with that quite well. So this is, I think, following is the scene in the fucking biker bar, which is, again, a little... Like, Ledger just...
It just seems a bit on the nose, or a bit. Like that's where he hangs out.
Yeah,
I do like when David Crumholtz though is walking towards him. He picks up the ball off the table.
That's kind of funny.
Because it's the extra's reaction. Because it's just because he's obviously not going to get into an altercation with him because the plot doesn't need it.
Yeah,
but just the look he gives him is very funny. Like.
Yeah, it is, and it kind of that's a bit uneven now. That scene, I did like that one, but then the bit where he goes, "Should you be drinking when you don't have a liver?"
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God in heaven. But it does have that great moment where they go, oh, she likes pretty guys. And Ledger just plays it completely like, what's your problem?
Exactly.
I'm not. Well, to be fair, he is a very pretty guy. He's a bit prettier than he is tough. But it's not like, it's a little, the joke is a little OTT, but he does look fairly credible in the biker bar, to be fair. He
does look out of place.
He doesn't look like someone that would get the fuck out of here. Like the other two guys, do.
100%.
Yeah, although I would have thought in the States you couldn't even walk into a fucking bar. Like
that's probably true as well.
21 guys, get your fucking head straight. 18 is where it's at. So, credit that. And that was funny the way he played it. Like, he's in, like, how dare you assert to say
you're not pretty.
Yeah. I think even in my notes here, I will read verbatim my notes. Ledger goes to Club Skunk as Kat is watching your favourite band there. He is wearing motherfucking vinyl trousers.
That's ridiculous.
As soon as I saw that,
like purple or something as well.
They're like
I found it very interesting. Because obviously they answered the question previously on whether or not she's a lesbian.
Yeah.
But as this camera's tracking into that bar, the amount of lesbians that are standing around.
Actually, maybe you're obviously more switched on than me. I'm painfully naive sometimes. I was like, maybe it's just a bunch of nice girls.
I think that played and the dress.
Well, they
big lesbian.
They actually said it, yeah.
Denim and they have short haircuts.
Yeah, to be fair, they didn't do the cliche, but on the commentary track, which isn't amazing, a lot of talk of like, what a great time we had. They did say we were hoping for more words to describe lesbians that begin with the letter D, which I'm not going to say. I just kind of took it as, at the time anyway, I was very, when I first saw it, and I think to somewhat justify it to myself, I was maybe going off of my old memory, but I just thought, well, it's an all girl band, like where else would they be? But it's obviously meant to be a lesbian bar.
Yeah.
Though I did notice when I rewatched it most recently, there is one guy in the crowd watching that group.
The sound guy, you didn't realise.
Yeah, he was fucking. Sorry to everyone else speaking of sound.
That was once an episode.
Yeah, I'm always gesticulating. I gotta say though, apart from the fucking pants, is where
ridiculous.
This scene is great, and it's where the film really takes off, and you really believe these are two people flirting with each other. And Ledger, we were speaking in the last episode of Negan.
Yeah, because I love, because he's at the bar and he's facing the opposite way, like he's playing it that way.
He plays it so cool, like
because and it's obviously Heath Ledger, so you believe that he has the confidence to do it. Yeah, because I mean, for instance, you could have someone like the Crumhole's character sitting there doing that, and even if he's a great actor, you don't believe it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because it's Heath Ledger. Like,
exactly, you're like,
yeah. Like, excuse me, you're ruining the vibe.
Yeah, exactly. I love this and all this, like.
Yeah,
he mentions in the real band, he goes, they're no ex.
Yeah,
but
and he plays it with just, like, it's, because it'd be easy to play that as in, like, I'm pretending to pretend this, you know what I mean? Like, don't know, whatever, the umbrella.
But he plays it very cool.
He plays it as if, like, I'm plausibly trying to trick you into thinking that I actually know what I'm talking about here, yeah. What I really like about it is that's really good, like that interplay.
Yeah, and the fact that he just gets up and walks off, like, and goes and starts looking at
Stay woke, Kings, watch this scene, it's great stuff. What I really like, though, is the moment then later when he's, I've never seen you look so sexy, and the music immediately cuts.
Yeah.
And like he gets embarrassed, like he doesn't play it that embarrassed, but it's obviously embarrassing.
Yeah,
and I was
like he's playing a kill.
That came at just the right moment, like it kind of pulls the rug out from under him, you know. But he still, he kind of doesn't let it bother him that much. And I think that was in all the. I certainly remember seeing it a lot. The bit where he goes, was that a no? Was that a yes? No. Was that a no? No. And it just plays like I believe this. I like both of these people. They're very kind of tentatively taking steps towards each other. It's really great, and it goes back to it's human beings interacting with each other. It's heightened, you know, obviously that would never literally happen, you know, like in terms of all the staging of it and all this. But and also, like, we did kind of gloss over it. You see him watching her dance earlier in the scene, and you can tell he's nice.
Yeah.
And what's nice,
it's a nice moment because you do see his face, and he is.
Yeah.
Because I mean, but it kind of lets you. I think that kind of lets you forgive what he's actually doing.
I know. Well, he's looking at her and he's appreciating her. He's not just going like, oh, hello, darling. You know, because she's out there dancing and you can tell he's into her as opposed to. I happen to actually. I have to say, if you're watching Julia, she's gotten better looking as she's gotten older. Julia Stiles. I haven't seen the show, but I think she's in a show called Riviera. And she looks like $1 million on the fucking poster, man. She was Candace Owen will fucking cancel me if I say any more, but she's attractive in this. But you know, she wouldn't be someone that you would necessarily put in a scene where a guy's ogling or dancing.
Yeah,
but you get
tap dancing. Let's call it It's typical, quintessential.
One of my problems with the film is that club scene is very movie. Like that's not how those clubs actually look, and everyone's like just nicely equally spaced so the camera
can go through and everything.
Which again, look, it is a movie, but like I prefer American Pie vastly. Now I saw it exactly at the time when I was a horny teenage guy at the time. They did go against stuff like that. I'll maybe talk about later where they did book against conventions that they kind of embrace in this film. So there were, you know, like the band, the whole thing was just a little too cool. You know, for me.
It's always funny to point out as well, like, because some of the dancing is so bad, like, you can see things, because anybody who doesn't know, there's no music playing while they're actually filming this, okay? So for anybody who may not know, so it's a silent set, because there has to be. And when you see, if you're watching a film and they can dance, you can kind of it doesn't say, but when you know there's no music playing and doing this,
sometimes they put a beat track or something, but it's not the same thing.
No.
Horribly awkward. Like they're fucking. I know.
Because especially because they're so bad, they pick the whitest people in the world to dance like, and they didn't give them any direction. They just said just wave your arms around.
I mean, it's not a great day for anyone. No. But like having said that, I've just said I didn't really care for X, Y, and Z. But that scene is fantastic, and the director just lets it play out. Everyone acts very believably. All good, no notes.
So it moves on then to the party. So the scene before the party where
I think we have to give quick lip service to it. The dad makes her put on the fake that seems to be.
Also, one thing I wanted to point out was, so obviously Bogey Lowenstein is throwing a party, but it's only for the AV club or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But so what happens is, as a sign of revenge, David Krumholtz decides to invite the whole.
Yeah, he had something falling out with Bogey Lowenstein.
See this? I love this shot. Do you know where they leave the leaflets? That is just so satisfying, and I don't know why. I can't tell you why.
That song was a big song at the time, the 60s. That to me was like, yes, 1999.
Yeah,
the film was made. But no, your mind.
Visually, it just looks really nice.
A few like moments like that. Like the film never, like I say, there's some bits that I'm like, that didn't need to be so convoluted. But there's moments like that where you're like, no, he's just kind of a good eye.
Because I mean, it's so they could have easily just flung them and then seen over, but it's definitely on purpose that he put in such a visually appealing scene.
Fair play. And the belly scene again. I just saw a few people commenting like they thought that scene was very funny. I thought it was a little. Again, any scene with an adult in it in this, and I'm I kind of go a rubbery one on my
because obviously there's a big argument because. What should we point out as well is at the end of the scene at the gig, he says, "Fine, I'll see you at 9:30." Now she does not confirm this, so she's not aware that he's going to appear at the door.
Yeah.
So it's Bianca with the belly suit, but she's already agreed to go before she answers it, because then there's a knock at the door and it's Heath Ledger's character.
It kind of works in the scene actually. Yeah, it's again like he's lucky Heath Ledger that. She was so agreeable, but the scene just again, it's not ruined, but like the bit with the dad is kind of out of step because the way she begs Kat, please, because like if she was your sister, you would cave, you would go, and then him just showing up, and it's just nice to see Heath Ledger again.
Yeah, of course,
It's like fair play, there he is, and she's like, I'm driving, I have to knock. It was very of the time. Kat in nearly every scene seems to be wearing like 7-inch high flip-flops. Which I just had to bring it up because I was like, look, you're a fantastic looking woman, Julia Stiles, but please, whatever the fuck, whoever told you to wear those fucking things, Jesus Christ. Not my cup on tea, those particular shoes, but but then we get to your typical
teenage party, which is it was probably
a staple of the genre.
Yeah, let's call it that. Yeah.
And again, for all I know now, in the US, because it's in every fucking film. Again, I think American Pie cuts slightly against the grain with some of the parties seemed a little more realistic. And I am genuinely saying I have never lived in the US. The ones in American Pie seem more plausible to me as house parties, but
at the end of the day, this is kind of demonstrating the chaos of he's not expecting these people to show up.
I mean,
the way it kind of just because the dog he goes, that must be Nigel with the brain, which is a very funny line I thought.
That is a line people love.
It's very funny, and it's because again the actor playing it, Kyle Cease, and he's really good. But so obviously he goes and answers the door, and then out of nowhere, this loads of people come in, and then within 2 seconds of the camera panning across, there's a DJ set up, there's a thing. Like it is a bit. It's not very realistic.
I think the film could have carried a more realistic kind of way of going about things, but I don't really have a problem. It just, you could say it's a little glossier maybe than it's absolutely necessary, but I mean, once it gets over the hump of that, I do think the scene is pretty great. Like the way it's
overall it is. Yeah, very good. Because obviously Julia Stiles goes off on a mad one and just starts getting drinking.
Yeah, I really want to talk about that because I really think that's great. But I have to say also, because it's not the most showy part of the scene, I really like how they play Larissa Olenek going off the model guy. Because it kind of happens step by step. Because she's really like, oh, he's here.
Yeah, because he's demonstrating it's look.
Yeah.
And then it's the exact same thing over and over again.
She very believably just reacts like, what? Like, I don't fuck. And it slowly kind of, until by the end of it, she's like, I don't want to. She's like, yeah, we're going. She's like, I need to go home. And you're like, she probably doesn't. Oh, shit. Pause. So it's like, yeah, it's very realistic how she kind of goes after the guy. But yeah, the key point of the scene, the most memorable thing is, there's no way of me saying this without sound like an enormous arsehole, but the best I can think to say is, I was surprised and very impressed at how psychologically believable what Pat does in it is. It's never like made a big thing of, which again is amazing because the film is quite over the top. She sees her sister with the guy who we don't know her backstory with the guy Joey.
Yeah.
And she just kind of gets self-destructive. She just starts drinking and she said, I'll play into all this. And it ends up with her. And the way she plays it, like where she's dancing on the table. I was like, it just seemed very, for want of a better term, realistic. And the way like Ledger just kind of was like, oh, fuck, she's gone off in a mad one here. Like, I just thought it was great. It was really effectively done. It was well played. It was the scene of her dancing on the table is shot in like very, for what it is, quite long takes. And I was just very impressed. I thought it was the whole way the rest of the evening plays out just rang very true to me.
Yeah, because obviously then it's Heath Ledger looking after her then essentially, like, and again it should be pointed out as well. It says a lot because there's no inkling or sign that if there's any chance that he could, he's the type of bloke to take advantage of that situation or not.
It never crosses your mind.
It's quite sweet that he's just looking after her, and then obviously they lead to the back garden and they're sitting on swings, and you know what I mean, it's a nice. And this is where we kind of get into the first major conflict between them, because he refuses to kiss her on the way home. Because obviously it's getting to him now what the situation, like he's not liking the fact that he's accepting money to be doing this.
And he's obviously like he cares about her. I actually took a note of, because he gets her in, they have a quite nice scene on the swing sets. And it plays out again in quite a long take. It only cuts into close-ups kind of after, I think, a minute or something, if I remember timing it. And she has a line where she goes, do you have some greed in your eyes? That was kind of like a bit of a turning point. Then she throws up, which is actually, I once complained about Marvel movies, the undercut kind of theory, but that worked for me. The scene in the car, it is kind of an unusual line, but I noted it down because it was the line that makes her go. So he drives her home. I'm no picnic myself, he says. They have a nice moment. Yeah, sorry, that's the line, if I'm not mistaken, that makes her. I think that's where they cut into her close-up, or at least that's a moment where you can tell she's actually into it. And I just thought it's not a huge moment, but it seemed to be something that made her feel a connection. And again, I like how flawed the character is, because he did the right thing. By not kissing her, but she's still annoyed at him. You know what I mean?
Because she's putting herself out there. It's someone who's very closed off from and kind of social, especially dating or anything like that. So for her to lower down her walls and to make herself so vulnerable and to be pushed back, that, like, I mean, even if, like, if you ever refuse a woman anything, they don't like it. They do not like it.
Yeah, well, it's like. Again, you'd wonder, like, if this were written, to appeal to, more politically correct sensibilities today, would they have to just immediately have a next scene where she goes, I appreciated what you did last night. But I like the fact that she's more flawed than that. She just kind of takes it as like,
fuck you.
Yeah, now granted the sexual politics at the time were pretty different from now, but she just kind of took it as a middle finger, and she's pissed off at him, and that just seemed realistic, and it doesn't compromise her character. He doesn't ever make a moral case for himself. He just kind of he doesn't even say anything. As far as he doesn't really push back because he's like, well, I understand. That's what I like about it. It's not even spoken about. Like no one's angry at him, apart from her. But like the two boys who like want him to do well, none of them give him shit over it. But they're just like, man, no, this is the reality of the situation. Very, very good and quite subtle. The way that it's done. I was very impressed with all that. Yeah, the way obviously just the way they played. It's very, very sweet. I liked it a lot. So we get to I did like maybe it's a scene that plays out too much in my own life, but her walking into school on Monday and everyone kind of taking the piss because she was up dancing on the table. And the only thing I've noticed is that the teacher does the cool Shakespeare thing, which is why I did it at the start.
Yeah.
And I know it was way after the fact, but I think it's in Funny People, which is kind of an underseen Adam Sandler film. They literally have a character in it who's like on a shitty sitcom, and he goes like, "Let me tell you all about the best rapper of all, will you?" It's pretty fucking cringe, like when he does it. And that guy, I actually liked him. He used to be on a sitcom called Veronica's Closet, the actor who plays the teacher. And I quite like him. Apparently he's in a wheelchair now. He was in a bad accident.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I didn't. It was on an interview, I think, with the writers that I heard. But yeah, sorry, not the guy. He's in a bad way. But it's not really him. It's just TV. But he says you're going to write a sonnet.
Yeah. Which
may pay off later on. Who knows? But yeah, that's I just kind of like the touch of she didn't get away with it. Like they took the moment for everyone to be like, oh, look.
Yeah. And that's what would happen.
Yeah.
As OTT as parts of the film are, that is so accurate as to how you would receive. But the only thing is, the thing that I always found weird, it's the next day, no?
Yeah, why didn't you have a hangover or whatever? It's hard to say. Was it a Friday the party was on?
Possibly.
Yeah, I think they established it for a Friday, yeah.
Okay,
it shouldn't be, yeah. But I do remember, I was like, oh, yeah,
that's weird.
That's about right, yeah. The Irishman often after a night out.
Yeah.
Oh, how are you this morning? Grand.
So obviously then...
Yeah, this is actually where you would not know that Kat has a best friend character who's obsessed with Shakespeare. This is like an hour into the fucking... She just...
Because you've seen her at glimpses.
You've seen her, yeah.
Yeah, but she has no lines, or maybe she has one line at the start.
I think there's a scene where she says a line in a car or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. And so obviously then Dave Krumholtz's character is obviously obsessed with Shakespeare as well.
Yeah. Because that was actually I think one of the few good moments with him where he quotes Shakespeare to her and she likes it because he is very sticky.
Yeah,
he is very like, I know what's going on in the world right now. I know, but he's very Jewish sticky. Like you see him even in the bloopers and stuff. It's all like, oh I've got a prophylactic. Jesus, he can pull it off when he has to. I thought he was quite charming in that scene. Yeah. The way he goes at the end.
He's a good actor. See, that's the thing. I just don't know if they knew what to do with him. Because he's almost like, because at different times in the film, he's almost like just an expositionist.
Yeah, which is not his strength.
No.
He's very charming in the scene, and at the end where he goes, I have a friend who likes your friend. And I was like, this just seems like what you would say.
Yeah. And it's
sweet because she's into him.
Yeah.
Someone understands her. I think I mentioned it earlier, but she had a much bigger part.
And it was cut out,
because it was very dark. She was apparently like there were bits where she was trying to kill herself so she could meet Shakespeare in heaven.
Okay, well, I have to be honest, I'm glad they cut that out.
That's a bit weird, yeah. Who knows? Like, maybe it'd be fucking or maybe
it could have been hilarious, actually.
They've some of those scenes in the behind the scenes documentary, but they don't play them at length. Apparently, they had trouble finding them or something. I heard in some of them. So we get to the quite a funny scene where Joey is talking to not Joey. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is talking to Heath Ledger, and he's essentially had a success. That kind of
she kissed me.
Is basically finished by this day.
Yeah, because what happens is Joseph Gordon-Levitt character is requested.
Jesus, we forgot to.
So obviously, so he drops her home and then she kisses him.
Yeah,
but that
leads. He stood up for himself. That was my take on it.
But there's a very funny line where he.
That is funny.
He goes, "Oh, she kissed me," and he goes, "Where?" Like, that is hilarious.
Ledger's when he goes in the car, and Ledger's reaction is like, come on, mate. Like, what do you think I meant, you know?
Yeah.
But then I think that's the scene where she kicks the football at them and all this, and she's pissed off at them.
Yeah. He says she embarrassed herself. This is where we lead to one of the kind of larger set pieces in the film.
Yes. So
she embarrassed herself, so you have to raise the stakes. You have to embarrass yourself. And he does that in great.
I was whatever the equivalent of like putting on a bulletproof vest and getting a riot shield was. I was preparing myself to not like this scene.
Because he plays the AV or the band, the guy, the leader of the band.
It's like so over the top, and I was watching, and I was like, he starts to sing. Yeah, he has a nice voice actually. Yeah, and he starts to sing, and I was like, okay, it's okay. I don't know why. I think it is because I really like that song. But when the marching band starts playing, which is the most kind of over the top element of it. I was like, okay, it actually really started working, and I was like, God, fuck it, it is just enjoyable.
And then it adds comedy to the scene, if not for the audience, for Kat herself, because obviously the security guards are trying to get him down, and he's running, he's dodging.
It's very, very charming, and
it works because because how else? It's based on what has been said to him about you need to up the stakes. What else is he going to do? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a few interesting things to say about the scene. I think the first thing that struck me is I would imagine now, again, I could be open to correction on this. I have to imagine they only make films like this for streaming apps now, because we were talking earlier off mic about Anyone But You. They don't make rom-coms for the cinema much anymore. I know they do. So I think they make a lot of these for streaming services, so you and I wouldn't even have fucking heard of them. I don't think you would think to put a scene like this in a rom-com if it weren't for the fact this is good. Come on, man, it's going to be in the fucking cinema. We got to give him a show.
Yeah.
I think that's where the instinct comes from. Is like you have to have some
kind of set piece. And
it's unashamedly a set piece.
Oh yeah.
The other interesting thing about it is originally, because when I first saw it, I was like, man, this really worked. But I was like, as someone who was like, I was kind of trying to put myself in the mind of the filmmakers. He's singing like, I love you, baby. And I was like, you could make the argument a little early in the relationship and say that. Originally, the first choice was that song, I Think I Love You, which from the point of view of what I was talking about, isn't a little early in the relationship, is a better choice. It's a more obvious choice, or like a more justifiable choice. Apparently that was in another film, and then the writer said we wanted to be to I Touch Myself by the Divinyls, which I was like, because I tried to put myself, I was like, they really made a great decision here. Like, how would I have followed the same steps? And I was like, I probably would have pushed for that because it's funnier and it's not as sincere. That song, just for anyone who doesn't know, is about the wonderful art of masturbation. I Touch Myself, and it would have been funnier and a bit edgier, I suppose. Apparently, it was the director who, again, in a running gag on this podcast, the writers nowadays refer to as the director. On the commentary, they call him Gil, but they're with some actors, and they made reference in an interview so having a great relationship with him. He and Heath Ledger suggested that song, and it paid great dividends. It's very, very good. Again, I just have a soft spot for the song, but he's so charming the way he does it. Like, again, like, if it weren't him, I don't know how well it would pull off. And her reaction to it is really sweet as well. The way she's just kind of standing, listening to it and smiling.
She's kind of enjoying it. Like. So then obviously that leads to when he is finally caught, he ends up in detention. So obviously then this is
another adult character.
It's fucking stupid. And like, this is where I'm with you. Like, I think this fella is a thick.
Yeah,
but even looks like a thick. I don't know. But obviously, so Kat is trying to get Patrick out of detention, so she decides to distract him by different things. But even before it gets to that, just what she's saying to him about things that she's taught him and all that type of stuff, and the way he's playing it, it's like very like this. And so obviously Patrick is to slip out the window, and what happens is she flashes him, and that ultimately gets the.
Now, in deference to the writers, I should say one of the men was very vocal, like, I don't like how this is staged. She flashes him for like a fucking minute in front of everyone.
And the thing is, this is where it got me. If you were Annie, I know it's a film and I know it's whatever, but if teacher, even if the student flashes you, if you stand there and stare at them, the way he stares at them for a full minute, you are going to prison. It's not because, and that's the vibe I got straight away. You know,
it was just too much.
You do this, and then you leg it.
Yeah, for anyone just listening, you keep it a very quick. That is apparently what the writer said. She said it should have been over by the door, a quick flash, and that would have been it.
Because I'm telling you now, and it takes away from the next couple of minutes in the film. Because I remember thinking just. What he's just stared at her for fucking.
Yeah, well, like it's so in front of everyone because there's.
I know, but it has to be said. Nobody else can see it. She's standing in front of him.
Well, there's a gag in the film where like Ledger is like, "How did you do that?" And I'm like, you know, she'd been expelled for that. Like, like the way the writer. Now again, it's a fucking movie. I get it, and he would have been expelled probably for the fucking thing and the song, but. Like it was just so fucking much. Like the writer's way of doing it is
much better.
It's just like it was just too much. Like
it's borderline creepy. Do you know what I
mean? Yeah. To be fair, now, like in comedy, you do kind of go like, well, subtlety isn't always your friend in comedy.
True, but in this specific instance, yes,
no, fuck no. But then we have the date, which again is very, very sweet, and I like they're paddling. Although the writers were complaining, they said they're paddling, but they don't go anywhere. Which I hadn't noticed.
No, I didn't even notice that.
I just thought it was again just them hanging out, and again the cinema of human beings interacting.
Yeah, it's just really sweet kind of conversation.
I did like I remember thinking, no one actually they made that up for the paintball thing, whatever the fuck that is, but it just. The way they do it is quite charming, and and it seems like they're having fun with each other. Like,
what do you mean the paintball thing?
Where they're throwing the gloves at the
does that not exist?
I don't. I just sure it's a gun, isn't
it? That's what I always assumed.
It's a lot of fun now. I was like, how long can I possibly do that for? Like,
my fragile masculinity wouldn't let me do that. It'd have to be like a submachine gun. A black one.
The crack with there is actually. Sorry to go off it. I played a version in Hong Kong where they had realistic kind of model guns that shot like kind of sharp pellets.
That sounds like my type of thing.
Oh Jesus, that'll get you up in the morning. But the scene is very, very sweet, and they kiss at the end, and it's lovely. Yeah,
and all is forgiven in terms of because there is quite a lot of conflict between.
They're completely into each other now. Yeah. She's completely melted the way she likes him.
And then the prom.
There's a scene where they plant the seed, so he drops her home. And they have kind of now I could do without some of it, like they're talking about the rumors about each other.
Yeah.
How, were you in a porno and all this? And I was like, okay. But again, the way they play is quite charming. And they really seem to connect because I think in that scene, they have like a heart-to-heart about like I think her mother comes up, or at least they have some kind of a deeper conversation.
They have a common trauma.
Yeah, and then the plot rears its head, and he asks her to prom, and he gives a little pushy about it. And he is a little.
Why don't you want to go? What?
He's a little OCT with the suspicion, to be honest, but it kind of works because he does push it. I watched it. I do think her reaction is a little much, but he does push it a bit.
Yeah.
And
because she's clearly not into the idea.
Yeah, you can kind of see like why she questioned it. So the justification is there, and she doesn't really want to go, and he's like, all right, yeah. So the next scene, I think this plot is essentially over. But the Bianca, the Lars Olenek and Joey thing, she's angry at him because he won't ask her out. She won't ask him to the scene where she's speaking in French and saying like,
she's angry at Cameron for not asking her.
Sorry, did I say Joey?
Yeah. That's why you confused me there. So what film were you watching?
Jeez, you're not a character named that a knife fucking thing. Which is I just kind of consider. I know they need to motivate Heath Ledger to take her to the prom.
Yeah.
So he can go, but I kind of felt like that plot thread is resolved by this stage. Like,
because he got the kiss,
like it just seems like where more do we need to go there? I think then we have the scene where it's a nice, sweet little scene. Friend David Crumholz has bought the dress for which they mentioned she doesn't have a dress, so he buys her a dress, and it's a weird kind of Shakespearean
kind of.
Then I think we have the heart-to-heart with the sisters, where the backstory is revealed that Kat had dated Joey. And it's a Shakespearean episode. They had made the beast with two backs together. And she did it because everyone else was doing it. I could maybe do without the complete rationalization of this is why I behaved the way I do, because I swore I would never do anyone. That's very movie. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They really made it black and white. Like I would have been okay with her just going, I wasn't interested in the social scene after that or something, but they really kind of, there's a moment, do you think there's a moment when she goes, why did you date Joey? And she goes, oh, because you're such a babe. The way she plays it seems to be she slipped back into her old persona for a moment.
I got that. I completely got that.
That's actually very funny. I didn't necessarily laugh at it. I thought that was very good.
Because I mean, it could have been a piece of direction, I don't know, but I'd be more fall on the side that it's probably Julia Stiles' take. Rather than
it was a very
it's very cool because it's like I got an aha moment. It's like no, I see you.
She doesn't play it sarcastically. She plays it but she does the voice.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's kind of a brilliant choice. It's just like
it's really good because it adds depth to a character that you think you've already known. So it's a nice thing to come in, especially when you're heading towards the end of the film.
They kind of over psychoanalyze it a bit, where she's like, I said I would never do anything just because everyone else was doing it. I'm like, fair enough. But I did. That was an interesting, and I liked the moment between the sisters, and I should have taken a note of it, but apparently one of the writers, some presumably, lunatic Ben Shapiro type in the States, had a comment, because she goes, why didn't Joey tell anyone? Because I told him I tell all the cheerleaders how small his dick is. Apparently someone said it's comments like that make men shoot up schools.
So ridiculously.
I mean, I don't want to take that comment seriously because us men dish it out. We dish it out, so we should be able to take it. The argument of you couldn't have a similar line about a BC character having nasty breasts or something like that. That holds no water for me. Fuck off. I mean, we dish it out. We should be able to take it.
100%. I totally agree with you. Because I mean, this whole thing that's
not just doing it for the social justice point.
No, but it's just this stuff that happened now about look. Obviously, men's mental health and all this stuff. Not to go off on too much of an aside, but I mean, if anybody is telling you to be that offended over the likes of a joke, a throwaway joke, you know what I mean, in a film, then just they're your enemy. You don't need them.
And the guy's an arsehole character.
Maybe he does have a tiny dick. You just have to live with it. You know what I mean?
It's okay.
Only people with tiny dicks get offended with that.
So I was naturally whatever the complete opposite. I think we do need to mention, this is honestly not something that will catch my eye. Now, if we ever do a James Bond film, I'll talk about the fashions all day long. But it's something that people talk about. The comment I remember most was they did Bianca dirty with
big time. It's an absolute. It looks like.
I didn't notice it the first time.
It looks like a princess Halloween costume. That's what it looks like.
I didn't notice it, honestly, because as I said, Larissa Olenek, no notes, amazing. Looking back, having known that was something people commented on, I was like, whoa, they fucked up on that one, like, Jesus Christ. But none of them try to even have, because Julia Stiles' one is not one you comment on.
No, but it's reserved. It seems like
a movie either, which I think is good. Bianca's one, as far as I know, is supposed to be nice, and it's just a fuck up.
Oh, it's supposed to, because she's the one who wants to go to prom. She's had this dress for years.
Now, to be fair, they don't do a moment of someone going like, ooh. No, they don't have it, they don't play it like as if here she is. But at the same time, it's meant to be a nice dress as far as I fucking know.
Yeah, it's meant to be, but I just don't see it. Because I know we have Debs here in Ireland, and I know it's very.
They have no experience of what a prom is.
Because we know we think we do with Debs, but they're not. Because Because the Americans and dances, I don't know if it's just a movie trope, but they seem to have one for everything.
It seems to be a big thing. The prom is obviously it's probably not as big a fucking thing over there as maybe it's made out to be.
Yeah, it would be like breakfast in an American film, like your fucking table for the scratch and toast.
Gotta go.
Have a fucking banquet in front of you. I have to leave.
Yeah, so then our boy Joey Levitt picks up Bianca. I I think it's kind of unexpected that Kat goes. Why does she go? Is there a motivation for her to go again? Or I think she just decides to go.
I think it is that, but is there not another scene?
She dated Julie. Oh, I think it's because I think the idea is.
She forgives him. Yes.
No, do you know what it is? It's because Bianca gets really upset at the end of the scene related to her. Bianca goes, "Well, why don't you let me make mistakes for myself?" And I think that's the catalyst for her deciding she wants to go. So then Joseph Gordon-Levitt picks her up, and then this is kind of, I won't say unforgivable, but what Heath Ledger does here, she shows up and she apologizes to him, and he does not have a second thought before he goes, "You're forgiven."
Yeah.
That is pretty bad.
That's the first time. That's the first time, because obviously everybody knows the game at this stage. Like,
and he doesn't say it like that.
But it doesn't make him unlikable up to that point.
No.
But that is like a dark character trait.
They don't make a big thing out of it, but he doesn't say it in an apologetic way. He just says it, you know.
He's like, yeah, damn right, forgiven.
And it's an interesting little moment.
It's a weird one as well, because
well, like if he doesn't say that, I suppose
it's obvious.
Can I say?
But it's how it's played and how it comes across.
Yeah,
it's very much okay. There's a darkness in there.
It doesn't like fucking twirl a mustache around, but it's a dark. Like when you think about it,
it's really dark.
You should be the one apologising.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, but at this stage, obviously, they still don't know what the story is. So obviously, we get the prom,
which is again, this is where I said I'd bring up American Pie. The prom is legitimately kind of shit. Like the band is kind of lame, which is funny.
Yeah,
it's in not a very dressed up, well lit kind of a place. This is a movie prom. Like they have a cool band and everyone's again doing the awkward white person dance.
Yeah. And this band pops up again that Julia Stiles' character goes to see halfway through the film. Heath Ledger has organised.
Yeah, he's a liner who's like called it a favour, which makes no sense.
Yeah, because I mean, who are you? Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But see, this band, I didn't do a lot of research on this band, but they pop up, and this is not the last time they pop up.
Mm-hmm.
But like, so what is it about this? They're great. I do like the song choice that they're singing, "Cruel to Be Kind," because obviously,
that was like it was. Right, but they make a huge thing out of them. Like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah, she did the whole fucking prom part, and she walks down.
Yeah, that's right.
Starts serenading Julia Stiles.
Okay, I don't know.
And they're not recognisable whatsoever. And I don't know if I don't think it's original music, because obviously they're doing "Cruel to Be Kind."
It's odd.
I do think it's a very fitting song though for what's going on.
It was a trope at the time, because I do remember, may God help me, I really liked Sabrina the Teenage. What was she in before? Melissa Explains It All. I think I had a bit of a thing for her as well. So I watched Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and they used to do stuff like that as well. They'd be like, "Oh, is that?" I think it was like, "Is that 10,000 Maniacs?" And I was like, "Who the fuck are 10,000 Maniacs?" Well, maybe like for teenage girls at the time they were bigger. So the prom plays out, and this is where Gabrielle Union comes back, and like is a different character. He's evil, and it's weird. And
like, the only reason he was going to invite you to this party tonight was because he was going to do you, but I came instead. So what's he going to do with you?
I don't know, but sure, she doesn't like the fucking guy anyway. So what difference does that make? If it had been,
but no, it's what she says is he was going to trick you. He was only tricking you to bed you. He didn't. So
I picked up. And I was like, "Oh, did you know he's an asshole?" I'm like, "Yeah, we all know that."
Yeah, but no, it's definitely because he was manipulating her. He only wanted her.
So then, the arsehole guy had shown up at the house to pick her up, which was slightly presumptuous, I thought, and the dad closed the door on him, so he's all pissed off. So he kind of spills the beans to Julia Stiles that Heath Ledger was in it for her. He doesn't spill it. He says it to Heath Ledger, and she overhears him. Yeah. Heath Ledger is all like, "Oh." And then I found this interesting on the behind the scenes. You see, because then he has a bit of a showdown with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and punches him. In the behind the scenes, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I'm sure he's a very good actor. He was 18 at the time. He comes off as like hyper insufferable, because he's like, "But shouldn't Cameron be like, I'm the bigger man here. I'm just going to walk away and turn my back on him?" And I was like, "The fuck is he on about?" Like, to be fair now, he's taking it seriously. I got to give him points for that. Yeah. But it just came off as like, "Mate, we should just do the fucking scene." And like, but again, that's maybe why he's a successful actor. Bianca punches Joey. That is kind of a funny line. I'm shooting a nose spray commercial. That was pretty funny.
She hits him twice, I think, does she?
She does, yeah. That's for me. That's for my sister.
That's for my sister. Yeah.
Which again is the closing the book on the sister thing. Julie Stiles seems very hurt, kind of storms out, quite rightly, has every right to.
Because I mean, I think, because when you look at that and you actually put yourself in those shoes, like at the start of a relationship, like I do not think if we were living in the real world that would be forgiven, and that would.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Because how could you ever trust someone again?
No, I mean, again, it is a movie, and you kind of forgive it, and you forgive them because you see.
Because obviously, I mean, it's a rom-com. We have to see a good ending. Like,
the only change is his tune about it, and you're like, oh, he hasn't seen him, but in real life, it's
Jesus Christ! And can you imagine the ego shattering?
Because she's obviously resilient.
I mean, all those books she's reading, like, you know what I mean?
I know, yeah, Jesus Christ. Well, couldn't launch a good writing career,
because honestly, because I think this is really where, because obviously there's a lot of cognitive dissonance that you can give a film, like obviously, but when you actually really test the metal of what is actually going on in the manipulation. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's interesting to talk about. I do find, like, there's a lot of modern criticism that just, like, why would she ever fucking go back? But I'm like, look, well, she goes back because she senses the guy's sincere. But in real life, you'd never be able to trust anyone.
No.
You'd be fucked up for the rest of your life. And she just plays it straight up like she was hurt. Again, great choice. Now we come to the scene of the scene of the film. Gives it its title. And it is amazing.
It is truly.
It is. I genuinely, I think I watched the film 3 times for this, and I welled up every time. Sorry, Andrew, Mr. Tate. I took your courses and everything. It is brilliant. And
did you say you took his courses?
No, I did not. I said it, but I didn't. No, jeez. But it is sensational. It is
beautiful.
It fucking is. It is amazing.
The sonnet itself is fucking beautiful.
It's great, it's really great.
She plays it beautifully. It's shot beautifully, I think, because it's a
cracking in shot, and it's one shot.
And it's a great choice, because obviously there is some dodgy choices that the director makes in different parts of the film. But
no one in that scene. I think there's a little bit of business. I think even the teacher isn't that insufferable in the scene. So, but. Apparently now, I should repeat that it seems to be true. It was like the only take. They didn't know she was going to cry. It's just
beautiful.
Sensational.
And you know what? They didn't know she was going to cry, so that's probably just something that came up in her.
Yeah, and there's a moment actually where she actually kind of fumbles one of the lines. She says, "I hate that. I hate your." It just makes it better
because she's emotional.
Yeah, it's so real. Like Julia Stiles is someone I looked up some stuff on this, and she seemed strange. She might just be kind of a reserved person. I think she was on the Kelly Clarkson show or something, and they were talking about this, and she was very much like, "Yeah, it was a really great experience." She was not like super enthused about it, but she might just not be that kind of a person. But it's that scene, because I think we talked on another episode about Scorsese said once about Kubrick, his films were 10 films, and I'm kind of obsessed with it.
Yeah,
that scene is worth 10 films. She would live forever in the public consciousness. But it's ever like the writing was there. They didn't mean for it to cry, but it supports it so well. The direction is great.
And it's a beautiful. The sonnet itself is beautiful.
Yeah, if anyone's curious, we've been dropping clues. I'm an English teacher. That's called parallelism. The way she keeps repeating the same line. I hate the way. I hate the way. I hate the way. Is probably a subsection of parallelism, but that's what it's called. And now, I cannot say enough nice things about Julia Stiles. The scene has a chance to fuck up. It has a chance because it has to cut away from her. And what's Heath Ledger going to do? And luckily for cinema history, he fucking, whatever, I cannot describe the look in his eyes.
It's one of
but it's perfect.
Pain.
Yeah, and he's just like,
and shame.
What did I do?
Yeah.
But this connection, and it makes everything she did better. It could have made it worse.
Yeah.
I don't know what he could have done, because, we don't live in the multiverse, but it could have been worse. And whatever his choice there made it better, and
it's very much a perfect scene.
It's perfect. It's perfect. Yeah.
In every sense of the word.
Yeah, it does not set a foot wrong, and it does several things way beyond what you might expect. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. No notes. I legit welled up every time when she starts to well up, because it's about, again, this connection between people and how she feels and her admitting something to her. Like, there's just a ton of things happening in one scene. Amazing. Now, having said all that, I don't want to drop the scales from anyone's eyes because I know they love this film. If you watch the next scene, you can tell that they hadn't planned for that scene to be so emotional.
Yeah.
Because she just she does not come out like wiping her eyes. Or now you can say it's not immediately after it, but in the film it is. Like in the reality of like how the film will be, like the end of the school day. But they don't play it as if that scene had happened the way it did. They're both. She just kind of walks out and says the guitar. He just kind of comes along. Does not mention that, but I noticed it this time because I was like, yeah, if they knew what that scene was going to be, it would have been afterwards. Doesn't film ends on a nice note. They end up probably happily ever after. I'm not going to do the thing of but would they really end up together?
Yeah.
Who cares?
It's a nice, because at the end of the day, it's a teen rom-com.
Yeah.
You don't care. It's this.
Yeah, it's just,
you don't need to overanalyze it.
What do you more? What more do you want?
There's conflict and they make up at the end.
Yeah, I just want to see people end up together, and it's something that we go to the cinema for. And it's not fucking reality, but great stuff, amazing. Two actors who really
carry it.
Yeah, so absolutely.
We move on. What's your non-submersible units?
Non-submersible units. So for anyone first time, what makes this a film that lives in the consciousness? A classic. Absolutely, that scene. Heath Ledger.
Yeah,
he is amazing. We should maybe say just he passed away at a very young age. Less than 10 years, I think, after this film.
2007 or 8, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure this is well known, but just you never know who'll be watching. Maybe some young one. He died at a very young age.
Some young one.
Or young fellow, sorry. He died at a very young age, so this is like whatever we have of him is very precious, and this is kind of the closest he came to just playing like a straightforward. Now, the Patriot, he kind of plays straightforward, mainstream kind of role, but this is like his only romantic.
Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of his stuff was like the Brothers Grimm and Dark Knight and
Brokeback Mountain is a romance. To be fair, it's a more obviously grown up kind of a film, and it's a gay film. But it doesn't play the sweetest, to put it mildly. But Julia Stiles,
if there's nothing else, she could have found in the rest of this film, and just that scene would have the same.
But no, she took her character very seriously. 100%, compromised it obviously kind of.
So I think one thing so obviously, as we discussed, it's based on the Taming and the Shrew. Now I think it's something that needs to be mentioned is how they play Katharina in the Taming and the Shrew. It's spoken about. She doesn't speak per se. So we're not from one thing that they've done, the writers and the director in this, is they've given Kat an emotional depth. Do you know what I mean? We hear the stories from her perspective of what she wants, whereas in the Shakespeare play, it's not
surprising information.
It's not that.
Well, in the Shakespeare, look.
The Shakespeare probably came from a time, exactly. So,
in the Shakespeare one, she is tamed by the end,
exactly. Because at the end of it, she gives a speech about life, and about how you should be obedient. And
apparently in more recent years they play it, and she kind of winks at people. No, I don't really mean it. One of the reasons this is kind of held up as like a proto kind of feminist kind of film is she does not compromise herself at the end. She
decides. It's her decision. So
she doesn't decide, well, I'm not going to listen to this stuff. I'm not going to give the English teacher shit. That is still there. She just is a bit more opened up.
Exactly. But even it's not a case that she was willed to the point where it doesn't matter what her actual feelings are about Patrick Verona. She makes the decision, which is key. Whereas in the Shakespeare one, it's more of the decision is made for her.
My man Willie was a product of his time. How could we forget the scene where he serenades her, "I love you, baby"? Absolutely classic.
Unbelievable. Because it almost, you could argue that it almost shouldn't work as well as it does, but it just everything as it gets more over the top, it works more.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
amazing.
mean?
Yeah, it is just that again. Like, so you can't really. I mean, the choices don't work. But when the director goes OTT in other places, you can kind of see like, well, it did work there. To be fair, like that is not a subtle theme.
Yeah.
And it absolutely pays dividends. So who's to say? Would you add on to that as someone who I think likes? I want to say I really do like the film.
Yeah.
But
the last hour and a half, you wouldn't.
I just have major. Yeah, you wouldn't necessarily. But last hour and a half been pretty.
I mean, I think in terms of submersible units, I think everyone has been hit. Like. But like it's just because I'm just thinking now of that scene at the end, like, do you know what I mean? That's where the title comes from, which a lot of people may not know.
Yeah. Apparently, the writers, some inspiration for it was she wrote a list about a boy she dated in school, and they found it and said it was 10 Things I Hate About Andrew or something, and then they changed it to 10 Things I Hate About You. Yeah, which is a cool title, actually. I like it.
It is, yeah. And especially because I mean, I'd imagine a lot of people that have seen this aren't aware that that's where it's tied to. So, if you were to give it a rating.
5.
Now remember for what it is. We're not comparing it to The Godfather now. Like.
Yeah. I'd give it a 4.
4?
Even after
I am amazed at that, and I'll tell you why. Because considering how I spoke about the film at the start and how you spoke about it through it, I'm giving it a 3.
Really?
Yeah. Because
amazing. Yeah.
And I think it's more so because I'm doing a disservice to what I said just 2 seconds ago about how we rate these films and how we rate them on what they are rather than comparing them to others. But I really think the genre of teen, not rom-coms, of teen movies is one that if you've seen one, you've seen them all, right? And although I do believe that this is the best, in my opinion, of that kind of 96 to 2004 era.
Big era for them, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's still just, like, it's solid. I like it. I will watch it again, but it's 3. It's nothing. They're not tearing trees up.
I guess maybe ultimately I'm a bigger fan of rom-coms than you, because when I was thinking of the rating, which I hadn't considered before, I just had Julia Stiles and like Heath Ledger like growing larger and larger in my mind, and that's what I want from them. Yeah. It'd be like if you asked like an action film that has amazing action scenes in it, but the plot's a bit ropey and there's a few side characters that don't like. So like, well, ultimately, it's still, what do you want out of it? Yeah, I just think ultimately they were so strong and believable and nice. I would not put it in the top tier romantic comedies of all time. Like, it seems to be where it is.
Well, see, the thing is, I know what you mean, because there are better romantic comedies, but I see this more of a teen version of it. Do you get me?
Yeah, I would put, and I wouldn't give it a 5 out of 5 either, but I would, like, something like Notting Hill to me would be head and shoulders above this.
But they're very different films.
They are.
Again,
if you ask me like why, I just be, well, it's British, so the humor is drier. But like something like it's behind you there, like Annie Hall or something like that. Yeah. That's more my jam. Like a little, like that does not have any humor that I'm like, oh come on, would you fucking quit laying it on the crowd, you know? Like it is, it's to appeal to teens. Look, again, I'm sure there's a lot of people who wouldn't make it past the first 5 minutes because I said anything bad about it. I get it. It's it's a big teenage movie. It's for that age bracket. But yeah, I'm surprised at how generous I am and how ungenerous you are.
So I think we wrap it up there, will we?
I think we've left it all on the pitch there. The guy, anyone who's curious, I think the writers went on to do The House Bunny and Legally Blonde, which I still have never seen, believe it or not. That's a huge film as well, Legally Blonde. And the director did First Night with Martin Lawrence.
Classic.
Where does the real genius in this film come from? Who knows? Look, he seems, I wouldn't be surprised if he was an actor or something. He came off as kind of like OTT in a bit, kind of like, look at me kind of a thing, in the behind the scenes. But, when he needed to, he was there, and that scene will live forever, the poetry writing.
Oh, yeah. Amazing, yeah. Unbelievable. So thanks very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the show. We will be back again with another episode next week. Follow us on all the socials, comments, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll leave everything linked down below. There'll be a video somewhere here that you can click on if you want to see the previous episodes. One of them.
Who knows where?
All right. Thanks very much.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Bye-bye.